Hey, what's going on, y'all? Welcome to episode 19 of Hidden Gems. I always gotta check this thing now. I guess that's a good thing. It's like I always gotta check it, make sure that I'm right. But yeah, man, it's good to see some of y'all. Welcome again to another episode of Hidden Gems, man. Today, I'm super excited. I get to talk to my main man, Corey Fonville from Virginia Beach, Virginia. You know what I'm saying? And, talk about all the cats in the band, all that good stuff. My sister's here. Hey, sis, what's going on? So, yeah, man, super excited about that. Before I bring him in, I want to give a huge shout out to my sponsor, Shannon Fashions, doing masks during the quarantine for all the guests. Really appreciate you being on and being a part of this. Yeah, so like besides that, I'm trying to think what else. Friday we got George Burton coming in, the great pianist, and to talk about his new record, Reciprocity. Sunday we got Reuben James coming in all the way from London. To talk about his latest release. And then the 26th, I got my main man, Brian Carter, coming in to talk. So it's going to be some good weeks, some good stuff coming up ahead, some good content. So I hope you guys keep spreading the word. I'm glad you guys are enjoying everything that you're hearing. So without further ado, I'm about to add my main man here, and we're going to get started. All right. Probably now would have been a good time to have some music, but I'm working out the kinks. What up, man?
Yo, what's good, bro?
Oh man, I'm chilling now. I'm chilling, man. It's good to see you in these crazy times.
Oh yeah. First off, I love the way you said Virginia Beach, bro. I got to give it to you on that one. You sound like you from the crib.
Oh man, that's just the familiar slang anyway. We all come from the same place in some way, shape, or form,
Oh, for sure.
The Great Migration spread us out, but you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it's all the same stuff, bro.
For sure.
Yeah. Man. So how you been holding up, man? I always ask, how you been, what you been doing since, everything went down and.
Oh man, yo. I mean, I guess I'd say like once a week I try to come up with something, man, like a new song.
Okay.
I just be on my computer on the dog, just like creating music on she can't see me on Logic or something. And I don't know, that's just the best way, man. Just trying to get some content together, some ideas for the band, for Butcher, and like just to have in the vault. And just to grow, just to continue getting better. Checking on family, of course, doing all of that, checking on grandma, my parents, my brothers, and yeah. So, can't complain, man. Just trying to stay busy, and productive, not stopping. I mean, we can't stop just because, we're on pause, but this is the time to try to continue, to get better and, brush up on some other skills.
No, definitely, man. Yeah, definitely. I mean, not only just the music skills, but just life skills in general,
Yeah.
Like, yeah, it's for sure been a very similar experience for me too, man. Learning how to cook a little bit, what I'm saying?
Yep.
Like when I was a kid, I wasn't really in the kitchen like that. I wish I
Same.
was.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
retro, your hindsight person is always way better than your foresight person in a lot of circumstances.
Yeah.
You got but yeah, man, I was playing video games and all types of silly nonsense that gonna get me nowhere. I love video games.
I still play, bro. I'm still on 2K.
I was gonna say I play right now.
I'm still on 2K all day,
man,
bro.
I haven't gotten a system yet, but when I get a system, I'm gonna put my my player code out there, man. Yep. Give me a couple of controllers because I be dang it.
Hey, bro. Once my lady go to sleep, tell her to stay up. She's like, I'm going to sleep. I'll be like, all right, cool. I'm gonna play this 2K my player right quick. Right. I'm going with the Lakers.
Yeah,
LeBron, I'm playing with LeBron.
Okay, that's your dude. The Lakers is your squad on there.
I grew up. Well, that's who I got. Well, I was on the Wizards, and we sucked, and John Wall was injured, so I came in and played point for him. Then I asked for a trade to LA. And so,
as soon as possible, you was like,
the next season, bro. And then Rajon Rondo was gone.
That's
Yeah, nah,
hilarious,
but
man.
yeah, just man, it's cool to just relax your mind a little bit, man, and do something like that,
Yeah,
and
yeah, yeah.
it's fun, man. It's cool. So,
For sure. My boy told me about the PS5 is coming out soon. I'm
oh
like,
yeah, I know that's
I,
gonna be
I,
insanity.
I ain't had a new system in a minute, and that might be the time, you know.
I don't even know what that's gonna be like. I'm like, how much more real can it be?
Right, exactly. Right. We just gonna be in the game. It's
Yo,
gonna be a
like,
30-minute learning drill passes and all
how
types
much?
of stuff.
It can't get more real than it is. Like, it's like, yeah, you must be in the game at some point. You're gonna be wearing like a
Exactly.
whole helmet. You're wearing the helmet.
Exactly.
Yeah, trippy.
Yeah, man. Yeah, bro. Well, we got some fan questions definitely to ask. I know a
Okay.
couple people hit up with the fan questions, but I just want to start off, man. Could you start us like at the beginning of like your musical journey, like, you know, yeah, how did you get involved with music? How did you get involved with the drums? You
Hmm.
know, because for me, it's fascinating finding out for me because I didn't come from like a musical family. You
Same.
know what I'm saying? Okay, cool. Because some cats like I'll be like, oh yeah, my great uncle is
No, I didn't really have that same. I had, yeah, same.
okay,
Yep,
yeah,
and that's cool. I mean, it's always good to meet people like that because you're just like, dang, like I didn't have that mom that played the organ in church,
right.
which that's dope. I mean,
No, for sure.
my grandma sang in she's sang in an Episcopalian choir. She still does that. She's like 80 years old. And like, but I didn't grow up in church, bro, at
Mm,
all. Like that wasn't part of my household. Like being in Virginia, you hear the gospel music. I mean, it's everywhere. Like so
mm.
many incredible musicians. You know, play on a high level that came out of church and still play some of the coldest churches in the country. I mean, much like obviously Chicago is crazy. Like
Yeah, definitely.
we could talk about that all day, but
That yeah, Chicago gospel is like Texas football. It's
yeah,
a way of life out
it's
there.
so many beefs, man. So
Yeah.
that's just a whole other conversation. But yeah, man, I mean, mom and dad, they love music. My dad was always into like creative music,
Mm,
a lot of different stuff. Like, of course, like fusion was his vibe,
okay.
funk, soul music, like I mean, everybody black listened to Earth, Wind, and Fire, I feel
Yeah.
like. So it
Yeah.
was like that, Gap Band, the Ohio Players, Isley Brothers. He loved Hall & Oates, Steely Dan. So I heard a ton of that music in the house, man. And then like trying to think, I mean, my mom, she was really into like Sade,
Okay. Yeah.
TLC. They're in their mid 50s. So back when like TLC was hot, they were like my age, around 29. So she was dealing with that,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know,
Yeah. Hmm.
everything. Janet Jackson, Velvet Rope, like, man, I've heard all of it. Michael Jackson, Prince. So, I grew up with that. And then my dad also loved like the acid jazz movement that was happening over in the UK with Jamiroquai, Incognito, Brand New Heavies. That
Dude,
was like a fresh sound.
it's some incredible it's been some incredible artists coming out of UK, man,
Oh, and
for a very
very
long
long
time.
time, man.
You
Ronnie
know,
Jordan. I mean, all this stuff, man. And, I felt like I was, exposed to it so young, man. So that definitely changed my outlook on music. And then, of course, like Bruce Hornsby, who's, hometown hero from Williamsburg, Virginia.
hmm
He's, a guy that had like a jazz background. I remember hearing his stuff too,
hmm
like he kind of had this hybrid of like gospel mixed with like this folky rock, Grateful Dead sound.
hmm
So like, it was also there. But yeah, a lot of stuff. Yellow Jackets were big in the house. My dad loved the Yellow Jackets. So like, and I
yeah.
love the Yellow Jackets and Pat Metheny group. So most of
Cool.
that
So
stuff,
they weren't necessarily musicians, but they were some music aficionados.
yeah,
You got a big variety of music in the
yeah. And
crib.
like, exactly. And my mom's was, more on the popular side, but she knew her stuff. I mean, Angie Stone, when that
Yeah.
was a thing, Mahogany Soul, like I remember hearing that in like fifth or sixth grade when that came
hmm
out. Um, my dad came home with like I remember they both came home with the new Erykah Badu record at the time, the live joint,
Yeah.
and that was nuts. I remember the day my parents came home with that, they took me to Wendy's to get some chicken nuggets, and then we went home and listened to that joint, and it
Yeah,
was
that's real.
incredible. It was killing. I was like already hip. I mean, I was already playing drums, man. So
What age did you start playing?
I started playing it too.
Damn.
Yeah,
Okay.
I was a small man. Got me a little junior drum set.
That's what's up, man. So they saw it early.
Yeah, he saw it early, man, because he was. I mean, I was already like taking in all of this like crazy music, man. Like he would just play it in the house. Like I was a kid when my dad was listening to Yellow Jackets to Spin with Mark Russo on alto saxophone and Will Kennedy, Jimmy Haslip, that band, and like he had those cassettes, and they would just be playing in the crib, and so I was hearing that Pat Metheny group. I mean, all that stuff that was popular at the time. John Luke Ponty, a lot of Bob James stuff too from like the early days. Like
that's what's up. Yeah,
man. I was lucky.
The sampled king. He been sampled so many times. He got royalties on royalties.
Oh yeah, hey bro. So I heard everything, man. Crusaders. And, bro. I mean, I was really fortunate, because I think you're a sponge at that age, man. So you're just taking it all in, doing the whole typical drum thing, banging on pots and pans.
For sure. It was interesting, man. I grew up in an Afro-Latino household, my dad is from Honduras, which a lot of people don't know. Yeah, my dad's from Honduras. My mom from Gary, Indiana, she's black, but
Yeah.
And so but we grew up, I heard as much as I heard the Earth, Wind and Fire and all that, I heard a bunch of reggae, and like, a ton of reggae, a ton of hymnals, because my dad used to go to church on Saturday. He was, the family was 7-Day Adventists. So I heard some of that, man. It was, but my dad was purely reggae. So like I grew up Peter Tosh, Bob Marley, Third World, Black Uhuru, like all of that. I knew all of that. Okay. I even knew what it was, But yeah, man, it's just like you said, being a sponge, man. I definitely remember dancing to Let's Groove Tonight in the crib. Definitely remember dancing to Equal Rights in the crib. But it's interesting for sure, man. So when you you went through high school, did that. I know you did the Grammy band. I remember that cat. I remember the cats you did it with.
Yeah,
I'm having Brian on, I think, next week.
Yeah, that's how we met, man. Yep.
Yeah, and so did you meet the band who eventually would become Butcher Brown? Did you meet them cats in college, or how did that work?
Man, that's such a funny story, man, because like I don't know what I'd be doing if I had met them cats. I mean, I would be, I don't know, just trying to figure it out freelance. But I met them just kind of just on the scene in Virginia. I mean, I'd say like, I was raised in Virginia Beach, but I feel like Richmond was like, it's the capital. So like that was the place where I felt like, it embraced me, and everything I felt like I had to offer. And so
I thought you were from Richmond. So I that's why I wanted to ask.
Oh yeah. We bump it so hard. I mean, that's the melting pot. I feel like it's the glue, man. It brought everybody together.
That's
real.
And
so, anyway, Virginia Beach is about an hour and 45, 2 hours south on the coast. So like, with traffic, about that. But in any case, I met DJ Harrison first. We met at this program that Virginia Commonwealth University has for high school students, which is VCU Jazz Day. And it's like a one-day event in the spring on a Saturday. And I forget exactly how it works. I think my teacher recommended me for it. So, and all the, your music teacher, your band teacher, puts you on.
Right.
And, like, hey, this kid is, really good. You should, consider him. And so they pick the students. So you go up there on a Saturday and you get like, you get placed in an ensemble. And so we did like a concert at the end of the day. And I remember, we were pretty tied up all day. And I'm 15, I think. DJ Harrison was like a senior in high school. So this is 2006. So he was playing drums in the other ensemble.
Word.
He's,
okay.
He's actually he won't say it, but he's an accomplished jazz drummer too.
Okay.
And so an accomplished drummer, just drummer in general.
Just period, yeah.
Yeah, but, he and I met there, and it was like, okay, cool. We exchanged info, and that was kind of it. At that time, you only had like MySpace, so I had like a brick phone, so I can't really text cats. But maybe not too long after that, man, my boy Billy Williams, who I grew up with in Virginia Beach, phenomenal drummer, was like, yo, man, have you checked out Devon's beats on MySpace? And I was like, nah. he was like, yo, I went to his crib. He got all these instruments. He got Rhodes. He got all these like analog tape machines and like all this crazy shit.
Yeah.
And I was like, nah, bro. And he sent me the link and I heard some heat, bro. After that, I was sold. You know, I had never heard anything like that. You know, it was, well, from someone my age. You know, this was everything that was very familiar to me, but it sounded like all my entire childhood.
Gotcha.
So, you know, immediately I was attracted to it. And so, you know, eventually we connected again through a guy named Jason Arcee, a saxophone player who's also from home.
Yeah. What's up? Shout out to Jason Arcee.
Yeah. So Jason came and So Jason came into the picture. He hit me up for a gig. You know, now I'm a senior in high school, you know, so I'm driving this shit. So he's like, hey, man, and I didn't really know him yet, but he was like, hey, man, I got your number from so-and-so. I think it may have been from Billy. And he was like,
Billy was the plug at the time.
Billy was my plug, bro, because Billy went off to college and I got all his gigs in the area where I was still. So, like, essentially.
Hey, that's real. That's real.
Yeah, so Virginia Beach is right next door to Norfolk.
They be racing outside my crib.
Oh, it's all good, bro. It's all good. Billy and I grew up in Virginia Beach, which is right next to Norfolk, Virginia. So a lot of music would happen in Norfolk. So essentially, the gig was at this spot called The Boot that doesn't exist anymore, I don't think, but it's over in this area in Norfolk. And so I show up. Oh, no, before I showed up, Billy was like, yeah, you know, Devon's playing keys. And I was like, wait, what? Devon on keys? I didn't know he played keys like that.
Right.
Not at that level to be playing on a gig.
Right,
so,
right.
Man, we get there and this joker show up with the Rhodes at 18, bro. So ain't nothing really changed. So I met him there again, and then, you know, I'm hearing him playing all these crazy chords, and I'm like, yep, this is exactly what I've been hearing. Yep, cool. We're gonna be friends. And so
that's what's up, man.
I told him, you know, hey, yo, I love your tapes and I love your beats, and he gave me a tape, one of his beat tapes, and then like a CD of one of his beats. And I fell in love with it. And then I was just like, okay, one day we got to work together. So a year later, again, like after my freshman year, I did the new school for a year, came back to Virginia, played in Richmond with Jason again. And then Andrew Randazzo was on bass.
Nice.
So I met Andrew there after he did his freshman year at VCU. So, you know, from then on, like I met Marcus, and I knew Marcus through Billy just because of the scene in Richmond. You know, I was around that stuff too, because I would drive up there or just be around it because that's where everything was happening. Right. You know, a lot of young cats were playing. And so Marcus came into the picture, you know, and he was playing just trumpet at the time.
Right. Okay.
And so he was like
that joker there. That's a whole nother story, but it's all good.
Yeah, you might have to get him on here to talk about that one.
Right.
So
that's my dude.
Yeah. So man, you know, it all came together. I mean, really, man, long story short, you know, I can go on and on. Is VCU brought us all together in some way. I didn't go there, but I feel like, you know, I'm sort of like this weird alumnus or whatever. They claim me as that, you know, they show love because of just me doing that program in high school. And like, I'm cool with it. But if it wasn't for like the city of Richmond and just VCU, that wouldn't have brought us all together. Because even Morgan, who's playing guitar with us now, he came through that program just a few years ago. He's much younger. But
gotcha.
So VCU, shout out to VCU, man. They brought Butcher together. And I can't leave out my homeboy Keith Askey as well, who was also a guitar player in the band prior to Morgan. You know, he was at the program. So, you know, DJ Harrison kind of was like introducing me to all his boys that were there that were around our age and was like, yo, like these are the cats. And so, you know, I would come up there and just hang out at the crib, which was the first house. They called it Jesse Jackson Studios. That was the name of it. And so, like, man, I would just go up there on like a weekday, man. I wasn't doing nothing. I dropped out of college. I said, you know what? I'm going to go hang with these homies. Yeah. Go up there like every week or so. Drive up.
I honestly, I thought, I was like, I thought y'all all lived together for a minute.
I did used to live with me and DJ lived together. The three of us, myself, Marcus, and DJ lived together. And before that, Andrew, Keith, and Devon DJ Harrison lived together as well. That's so, like, we all lived together. Morgan was the only one that hadn't lived in that house or lived with us yet. But he was a little younger, so, like, he wasn't around. Right. So, you know, the connection was there, man. And, like, everybody has played in different situations in other bands. You know,
that's what I really, you know, I really love. The one thing I love about the band and the one thing I love about you is the versatility, man. Because a lot of cats, they think you're a pocket cat. And I'm
that's so funny.
Corey it can play whatever the hell he want to play. He choose.
Hey,
He like it's a difference between, you know, because some cats are pocket cats, and that's their
yeah,
bag, but you're like, you choosing to play pocket. It's not
yeah,
who you are as you know, as a musician.
yeah,
You know,
yeah.
you're super versed and well
Thank
rounded,
you,
man.
man.
I love hearing you swing. So you know
I
what I
love
mean.
that, man. Appreciate you. Yeah,
Yeah,
no,
for
man.
sure.
I just play what I love, man. I love
Yeah,
all those those different genres of music. I love
yeah.
everything, man. And so, like, if I love it, I'm gonna play it and just,
Got you.
put everything into it. That's what
Well,
it's all about for me.
I'm gonna hit you with this first fan question, man, because I think it's appropriate right now. If you can, you see it right there at the bottom.
Yeah, I see it. Yep. What's
Yeah.
it like witnessing Devon's creative process? I mean, it's incredible. I mean, the cat got perfect pitch, one. So, like,
Wow.
I mean, I've never seen someone just be able to come up with ideas so fast. Like, and we all can bring an idea into the, to a session or like to a
Mm-hmm.
rehearsal,
Mm-hmm.
and like, it's amazing how it evolves. It just so quick, man. And he'll just be like, "Yo, play this on the bass, play that on," it's like he's running point guard literally the entire time and like just pointing around, like, "All right, yo, set that pick right there, boom, boom, boom. Okay, cool, we got a song."
That's
And I'm
what's
like,
up.
it's like Pimp My Ride, but for a song.
I got you.
You know what I mean? But no, he's incredible, man. And like everybody has a skill set that's really unique in that band. So,
Yeah.
he's obviously someone that we've always respected, and like, it's amazing to see him grow and continue making music, when he puts his solo stuff out, and like anytime he shows me new music, I'm always blown away. Because like,
Got you.
yeah.
Well, we the first time I heard about the band, man, was off Nicholas Payton's record.
Numbers.
It was off Numbers, exactly.
Yeah, yeah.
And
Shout out to Nick.
and yeah, man. Shout out to Nick, man. Just a friend of the show. You know
Yeah,
what I'm saying?
yeah.
I hope his mask came. I got him a mask. You know
Oh
what I
yeah.
mean?
And
Yeah,
I
but
have to say, man, real quick, man, Nicholas was the first cat to give me a professional gig.
he said that he took
Yeah.
you on the road. You were in
Yo,
school at Brubeck, right?
had just finished Brubeck, man. I was 19 and he called me and I couldn't believe it. It was like I called my dad. I was like, "Yo, man, I just got a call for a gig." Like my Nicholas Payton. I was so hyped, and this was like shortly after like Into the Blue came out.
Yeah.
And Bitches came out as well. Like, so
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
that dropped. So,
Mm-hmm.
I was super hyped, man. And plus I was already a fan of him and his music and everything that he did and stood for.
Bet, man. Well, we gonna check out this track. This is off Numbers. So listen, if you need something to do for date night, okay, you just put Numbers on, and it's gonna take care of you. Okay,
That's true.
The album is fire. You just put it on. So I'm gonna start it in the middle, and there's one part I hope we can get to it, but it's one part in the middle I want to ask you about. But this
Please.
is 4 off
wow.
of that album, which was actually track number 3.
Yeah.
So it's the interesting story behind the album, but I would heavily suggest getting this joint. But this is the first time I heard of Butcher Brown, and the first time I heard you playing drums. I was like, man, this drummer is just, his pocket is crazy.
We'll talk about that too, man, because that was an interesting time period, just like how that came about. So yeah.
Bet. So let's check this out, and then we'll talk in a minute. So here we go. This is 4 off Nicholas Payton's Numbers. I hope you guys enjoy this one. Let's check this out.
Oh wow. This is crazy.
Do you know what I'm about to ask you about though? You know what
Nah.
I'm about to ask you about? All right, cool. I'm gonna let it ride, and then
Yeah, I remember this. Yeah, damn, this is crazy.
that shit smacking though, dog. That shit smacking.
I haven't listened to this in so long.
I think for like a year, I had this joint on repeat, bro, because it was so fire to me, man.
Yeah.
It's actually on the second part, on the next part that comes up.
All good.
Yeah. Yeah. All right, here it come right here. This little tidbit.
Oh man! Wow! Yeah.
Yeah, you hear it now, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So who missed the cue to go to the who missed the cue that they want to go into the third section? I've always been curious, man.
Yo,
but
man.
it was such an organic, bro. It was such an organic, natural moment. I was like, yo, that's so. I was so happy that y'all kept that in there because that shit was still smacking. You see what I'm saying?
I love Nick. He did us dirty on that one. That was so. Nah, but it's cool. So Nicholas, I guess he just wanted to keep it in. Devon missed the cue on the clav.
Right.
I mean, he had us. I mean, Nicholas, man, he's a vibe cat, man. So it'll just be like.
The shit was vibing. The shit was vibing anyway. I mean, like I said, it was either somebody missed the cue or even killing it's on purpose. I don't know
if he may not have even. I don't think he gave us a cue, bro. That's how raw that shit was. Now, I'll say this though, man. So I do actually use that alarm. I use the song 2 as my alarm on my phone still.
Yeah.
Because this is such a vibe. As soon as I hear them chords, I'm like, oh, I hear that Rose. I'm like, yep, that's got to be my alarm clock.
Time to get up.
Yeah, man. No, but damn, that's crazy. I mean, honestly, you just took me back, man. Hearing that, that was because that was Andrew's that was Andy's debut with us, in any setting. Like I remember, Chris Smith was playing bass with us before then.
Yeah, Smitty.
Chris was on bass. That's my dude. And
crazy. Yeah.
Chris he was in New York, and it was just he's in New York. So it's like he was already busy as hell, and like Andy was around and he's killing, and I was just kind of like we agree. He was just like, yeah, man, I get it, bro. And so Andy, I was like, yo, bro, would you down to be in the band?
Chris Smith is one of them cats. It's crazy hanging with him because his resume is thick as hell.
He's done
so much, and he just be so low key, man. He be, yeah, man. How you doing? You good?
Yo, what's up, bro? Oh,
yeah,
man,
exactly.
I'm chilling, bro.
It's super chilling. Then he'll be like, oh yeah, man. I played with Maynard Ferguson a couple. What you talking about?
Yeah, bro.
He played Maynard Ferguson.
Yeah.
He's got a crazy resume. Yeah, go ahead. I'm sorry, man.
No, man, you good. Nah, man, Chris, he was just busy, man. And like, we actually have another Nicholas Payton album. We have 2 other Nicholas Payton records in the can.
Wow.
The first one was like all these songs that he came in with that he sang on, and Chris is on that record. And that was like a record that was recorded in September of 2013. And, shortly after that, Chris, we parted ways with the band, but he's still my boy, and Andy came in December, literally right before that session. And so that was his debut. And so, Nicholas had these charts. Cats was nervous, of course. Like, Nicholas was at Jellystone in Richmond. We recorded that at Jellystone Studios, and, all 3 records were recorded there. So, anyway. So, yeah, man, I mean, that was a cool period in our life, man. And, he looked out and showed love and was really interested in, trying to, get us out there. And, he dug the sound. And I was amazed that he kept it raw like that too. There's even some buzz in some of the tracks from the guitar from guitar.
Bro, that's like I said, man, that's why I love that record though, man. It's just such an organic record. I mean, it feel like how the music's supposed to be. It's not supposed to necessarily be mistake free. It's just it's supposed to just feel good. You see what I'm saying?
It's honest for damn sure.
It's a very honest record, man. I love it, man.
Yeah.
Can we talk a little bit? Of course, you're known for the work with Butcher, and I mean, and in the swing circles, you're known for playing with Christian and I mean, really anybody who play with Christian, I mean, you play, Christian, you play with Logan. I know you play with Chad Leftwich Brown. But you also make beats and you produce as well. So you have like a little drumming Splice tape that you made. Can you talk about that a little bit?
Sure, man. Yeah. So Splice, that came about actually through two people. My boy Charles Burchell from New Orleans, great. He's a drummer and producer. And also my homie Rocket Jackson, who grew up with me in Virginia. He one day just took me down to Splice's headquarters in New York, and we just hung out with them cats. And he was like, introduced me to everybody. And then I met a dude named Matthew Block over there, and he knew who I was already, I guess. And he was like, "Yo, man, would you want to do a Splice Originals pack?" And I was like, "Yes." And I wasn't too familiar, and I was like, "Let's talk about it." And one thing led to another, and went in the studio up in Brooklyn with another guy named Matt, and we recorded that together like for about 7 hours. And it was funny because I showed up to record this drum pack, and I think he thought I think there was just some miscommunication. I thought there was a drum set there at the studio, but there wasn't. Right. So I had to hit up my boy Derek Lucci, who's just one of my good friends, man, and drummer, and he's also an accomplished chef. And he actually dope chef, man. So anyway, he hooked me up. I was like, bro, I need a drum set. He lived about 10 minutes away, thankfully, in Brooklyn. So like I went by there and scooped the kid up, and so came back. We just got straight to work, man, and just did one shots and like different grooves and different BPMs. It was time consuming for sure, but a lot of fun.
I talk to a lot of drummers, because I love drums. You know what I mean? Like and and in my band, I'm tough on drums. Hey. I'm not tough on, not me. I'm saying I'm tough on the drummers that I rock with. But a lot of cats will ask me, how do I work on pocket stuff? And I'm like, listen, there's two people. I mean, not the two main people that of course I talk about. Clyde Stubblefield. Starting there, playing with some hip hop tracks. But I'm like, look, there's two live drummers that you got to play with. It's Quest and Corey Fonville.
Oh shit!
Like,
wow.
You know what I mean? Like, I mean, that's real, man. Because like I said, there's a lot of drummers. There's a lot of incredible drummers, but there's not many super versatile drummers. I think of like you. I think of Micaiah McCraven. Like I said, Brian Carter is nasty on pretty much whatever. But like that, like true versatility. You see what I'm saying? Like you could play any genre effortlessly,
Thank you, man.
Or minimal effort, So if you're a drummer and you're trying to check out, get your pocket stuff together, check out that Splice beat tape on Corey's page.
Yeah, it's in my bio, right on the bio, man. It's cool.
Yeah, for sure.
It's like 400 plus drum samples. I think it's crazy, bro. Like, you don't think how you don't realize it until like you're, I don't know, finished. Like, wow, I did like 400 different drum sounds. You just in there putting in that work, bro. You're not concerned about the number.
So, can you talk? The next record I pulled up again is this Braxton Cook meets Butcher Brown record.
Oh,
as soon as I heard about Nicholas joint, I went. I was like, I got to hear some more of this band.
Yeah.
And and so then this popped up on my Spotify. I was like, looking for Butcher Brown? Here, check this out.
Oh, man.
And Braxton's record came up. So can you talk about the relationship with Braxton and how that came together? Yeah,
man. Well, Braxton and I met. We met before playing with Christian. Because of the he's from DC, from Virginia.
Right.
So we go up to DC.
Very close.
Yeah, DMV kind of vibe. So like, he was at Georgetown at the time when I first met him. And we just kind of, we rubbed shoulders and just was like, yo, what's up, man? Nice to meet you. We talked. But it wasn't until, like I said, we both got in Christian Scott's group. We became very close friends. And so one day he just we just started talking about like doing a record in Richmond at Yellowstone with Butcher, and he was into the whole idea. We had just cut his first EP, like maybe a year before then. And so, yeah, he came down to RVA and we did that album in a day, maybe 2 days. I can't remember. And it was just a hang, bro. Super chill. We played a couple shows. We did a show at the Bohemian Caverns.
All right, when it was still around.
Yeah,
Shout out to
man.
Bohemian Caverns,
Bohemian Caverns. Yeah, we did a show there during DC Jazz Fest. That was actually very fun. And so, yeah, man, Braxton had some tunes, you know, and like just went in there and laid it down, bro. It was so fun.
Word, man. Well, you know, I pulled up this joint, DMV, man. So we'll check out a little bit of that. So this is off Braxton Cook meets Butcher Brown record. If you're not hip to Braxton, incredible saxophonist. I would definitely recommend you just, you know, go on there and cop everything, man. He's pushing the music in a major way, man. It's super dope.
Yes,
so let's check this out. This is DMV by Braxton Cook meets Butcher Brown. Let's check this one out. My jam. I have to put on some chapstick, man.
There you go.
My lips be getting dry, bro.
This weather's messy.
Yeah, we gotta let them ride for a little bit. Gotta let them rock. Yeah. He was playing, boy. Yeah. That's my dude, man. I can let that rock all day.
Shout out to Cook, bro. Shout out to brother Cook.
The cat, man. The cat, man. So I'll pull up some more fan questions. If you do have a question, pop it in the questions box on the bottom of your screen. I can't guarantee that I will ask it, but I can guarantee that I will look at it. All right. So let's check this out. Here we go. Boom. This is a good one.
Who are some of my favorite modern drummers? Damn. All right, yo. So look, if any of y'all watching, if I left you out, I'm sorry, man. There's a lot of y'all motherfuckers, man. So,
I know.
All right. So look, there's some people. All right. First one that comes to mind right now is my boy hailing out of Durham, North Carolina. His name is Jonathan Curry.
Okay.
Ridiculous. Yep. He has a group called Zoo Crew. Alan Thompson, Russell Favory, and Chris Sharp. He's a problem. He's also played
Jonathan Perry. I'm gonna write that down.
Jonathan Curry.
Jonathan Curry. All right.
Yep. He plays with Masego also.
Oh, bet. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he's a
man.
bad dude. Also, Michael O'Day, who's also from down there.
Yeah.
Badass drummer. He plays with
Yeah.
Theo Croker, Joey D, Francesco. It's a drummer. Mike Mitchell, incredible.
Yeah.
Justin Tyson,
Yeah.
Billy Williams. That's my homeboy. He's a beast. He kind of slept on sometimes. Joe Dyson.
Yep.
Damn. And these are cats in my generation now. Like, there's more, but Bill Stewart is one of my favorite all times. I mean, obviously Brian Blade. Man. Eric Harlan. Kareem Riggins is probably had the biggest effect on me just in general. Hutch.
And his beats are nasty too.
Yeah. Nate Smith, hometown hero. Yeah, man. I mean, there's so many, and like Chris Dave. I mean, the list goes on and on, man. I mean, there's so many amazing drummers. I love what Makaya's doing. It's very unique, man. It's fresh. Damian Reed, he's one that is Billy actually put me on to him like back in like my freshman year of high school when he played on Robert Glasper's Mood album, like OG Rob Glasper, and Damian was like something I had never heard on the drums before, like hands for days, like had like crazy dynamic range, just fluid. And so yeah, man, that's kind of a short list of a lot of my favorite modern drummers.
Got you, man. Well, let's see. I've got a couple more fan questions here. Let's check out
Justin Faulkner is also another one.
Shout out to Justin Faulkner. That's a bad cat, man.
Yeah.
Let's check this one out.
Creative exploring versus practicing slowly. Oh man. Let me try to answer that the best way I can, bro. I think it's good. You should practice slow. You don't want to, that's the best way to develop it. But, I'm all about just trying to be creative. And I get my inspiration, honestly, from listening to music, man. Like, I do a ton of listening. That's my form of practice, too.
Yeah.
To me, that is practicing. Nicholas Payton once told me that, or he didn't just tell me that. I was actually at I guess it was like a Q&A masterclass that he did. And he was talking. They were just like, how much do you practice? And he was like, I practice every day. Even in, probably even in his sleep. And I feel the same way. Like songs come about in your sleep.
Yeah.
All these different concepts, man. You can be on a plane, on a train, in the whip, like driving, whatever it is. And you're like hearing all these different ideas, man. You get inspired by just, driving around or just walking by somebody or just seeing something. I don't know. And so like, to me, like I always have ideas in my head and like that gets the creative process going. Like, the best ways, like to me, honestly, like with a lot of the sessions I do with Butcher, we'll just put music on. If we don't have, like, if we're just like looking for some ideas and inspiration, just put on a record, let it play for a little bit. And then, all right, cool. Then somebody got an idea and just starts playing some stuff. And then it just snowballs from there.
Got you, man. Well, we got a couple more minutes left, man. And I appreciate everybody coming on. Listen, if you guys are enjoying these interviews, feel free to follow me.
Follow him.
Got some cool guests coming up, all that good stuff. And if you're digging Corey and you're digging Butcher Brown, make sure you follow them. Butcher Brown on Instagram. Follow Corey on Instagram. I know they got some good stuff coming up in the works, man. So it's gonna be some good music coming out of this, man. So with the band now, I noticed y'all put out a single, Tidal Wave, and y'all don't do a lot of covers. You know? So I was curious, what made you guys pick this cover in particular, what like the process behind that, coming up with that joint.
Good question, man. Well, like we were in the studio in October, and Chris Dunn, who was there with us, helped us produce the album. Shout out to Chris, cool ass dude. I met him through Christian, and he's just a homie, man. Good people. He gets the culture. He comes from the culture, so it was like a perfect match with us. Yeah. And so he was just like, "Yo, man, like is there y'all got any ideas about like a hip hop joint, like or like a classic sample?" that we can like merge together. And you know, we kind of stood there quiet outside on the patio before we went back in and started tracking, because I think that may have been one of the first songs that we recorded. And I just brought up this idea. I was like, yo, how about we do that Black Moon joint? Because I always loved the Black Moon joint, Who Got the Props. Like, oh, God. I mean, that shit fucked me up. Anything with Rhodes on it, I'm all in. And so,
for sure.
You know, which I was trying to think of something, you know, that wasn't too rare, but that hasn't been done before. You know, there's a lot of Dilla out there, of course, and I love Dilla like everybody else, but it's like there's a lot of other heat as well. So
for sure,
I decided, you know, I just threw it out there and wanted to see what everybody would say, just a little feeler. And everybody was quiet, and shit, it seemed like within like a minute and a half, DJ Harrison back in the house writing out chord changes. And then pulled out the Ronnie Laws joint, Tidal Wave, and put it on, so we could figure. You know, we started trying to figure out the form, how we can incorporate that, and mix it with the like boom bap version from Black Moon, right when Marcus comes in. So it was a pretty smooth process. I mean, and I feel like when Marcus comes in with the tenor solo, that's like him spitting bars. You know, straight just hard like boom bap all day. So.
Well, let's check out a little bit. Let's check out a little bit of this one, because I rock this one too. And I'm telling you, man, I got gifted a piano from a friend of the show. Thank goodness. A piano, a computer. But when I get this interface hooked up, I want to bring Butcher back, man, in the Zoom joint, because I want grown folks music or grown music. That record is fire. All the stuff on Bandcamp, man. You know, we could go through that and just have a, you know what I mean, bring the whole group. But yeah, man. So let's check out this Tidal Wave, man. Like I said, this is one of the rare covers that Butcher does. Okay. And you know, yeah, we're gonna check this out for a minute. Here we go. Woo. Yeah, man. Yeah.
Thank you, man.
Cats. Yeah, for sure, dog. For sure, man. Cool. Let me. I know we had a couple. Another one. Another good one. All right. Here we go. When would you say were your most formative years, and what were you doing during that time?
Oh man, I guess I felt like it was interesting. Like eighth grade, ninth grade, man, was interesting for me. You know, I was like, you know, just listening to a ton of music with my iPod, man, and just like playing along to everything. Jill Scott to like, I don't know, all types of music, man. And like, you know, during the summers, bro, I would just go play some ball during the daytime with my friends and then come home, cut grass with my dad, whatever, and then go and like just play, you know, play to music, you know. You know, I didn't have the luxury of having a ton of like music friends near me to just like get up and have sessions with as a kid. So like, you know, I had to, you know, rely on other sources for that. So, you know, that was important, man. I mean, high school was just really important for me, too, because, like, I had to kind of, like, branch out a little bit. You know, I had to, like, figure out, like, what I wanted to do. And, like, you know, in my area and like try to go seek it, which that's where the Grammy band came in. You know, I did those auditions and was fortunate to get in a couple times. And that's where I was able to meet so many like young, talented people, such as like Brian Carter, Chad Lefkowitz Brown, Bernice, Victor Gould, like Alex Isley. I mean, the list of people just goes on and on. I mean, it's so many, Emmett Cohen, Benny Burnett, and just different years, man. And so like that kind of changed my whole like idea. And I was like, okay, I really want to do this. Okay. And, you know, being able to see all these young, talented people my age killing it. Got you,
man. So you've been all over, you know, and like you said, you've been touring since you're 19. Now I don't want to put your age out there, but you're older than 19.
Yeah, you know? Yep, 29. Yeah.
Yeah, so 10 years, man, 10 years on the road, you know, and so do you have any favorite spots, like a spot that, you know, that you love to, like, like if you see that spot on the tour schedule, you're like, yes, this is my spot right here.
Yeah, you know? Tokyo, man.
Word, okay.
Tokyo's so cool, man. I mean,
I've never been. I haven't been yet.
Both there and Osaka, honestly, are just super amazing. Osaka got the food on lock, bro. But you know, in Europe, like Western Europe, I'd say, I mean, I love going to London. It's always dope because they, you know, they're in Paris. They love the music. Amsterdam, Rotterdam, like, you know, they love it. Berlin, you know, they really show out. They get what's happening. All those locations, man. And like London's probably is my favorite over there because I got a lot of friends that play, you know, a lot of great musicians over there that, you know, show love. And anytime I'm in town, I reach out to them or they hit me up. I'm like, yo, man, what's good? I'm coming through, you know, so yeah.
Word, man. What was I gonna ask you? So what was it like, man? What was the process of booking, you know, because Butcher Brown did, you know, not a world tour, but a nice little leg of a tour where you guys were across in London and playing for shows in Europe. So what was it like? What was the process booking shows overseas? Because a lot of people, you know, they would like to do more shows overseas, but you know, they don't really know where to start at. So could you talk about that process, especially in London, man? London is a tougher place to book.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we're fortunate, man. I mean, Butcher did a lot of legwork on our own early on, just like booking our shows. I mean, sleeping on couches and sleeping on floors and messy apartments, all that stuff. But, you know, at first we were just reaching out to cats, but we're lucky now we got booking agents. You know, we have a EU booking agent and also the North American booking agent over here. So they handle everything over there with the flights and like, you know, making sure, you know, we communicate with them and be like, hey, you know, we want to fly to this airport, this and that. And, you know, you figure out the budget and, you know, we plan accordingly. And like sometimes, I mean, to be real, you know, we've had, you know, other opportunities to go to Europe, like even a few years ago before the first time in 2017, but we just couldn't afford it. So we were like, nah, we're not going to do it yet.
I got you. It was like we already doing the grind thing. We already grinding it out. We got to grind it out in another country. That's a little scary.
And then we were still independent. So it was like, we ain't really got no help. So you know, you got to be smart about it, man. I mean, I'd say to anybody watching that has a band, you know, well, trying to just get on the scene, start a band, but just playing that stuff out, man. Like putting money, saving money, putting a percentage away from each show, like 15, 20%, like pretend you're paying out a 6-man that it doesn't exist, but put that money away into an account, get that LLC popping and keep it going. So like, you know, you have to think about those things, you know, when you're trying to do this. And like, you know, it's something that comes from experience and like, not everybody shares that information. I mean, thankfully Christian put me on game to this a while ago too. And so, you know, and him pretty much being out here for 15 plus years, you know, he's the right person to have in your corner and talk to.
Yeah, for sure, man. Can you tell us a little bit about the deal? First of all, congratulations on the deal with Concord.
Oh,
I was fortunate. I was on tour with a group with Jazz Reach in California. Yeah. And I ran into y'all when y'all when y'all were putting pen to paper. You know what I'm saying?
Yo, that's right.
We was at the Mint. Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
We was at the Mint. You was like, yo, it's kind of wild right now. We about to sign with Concord right now.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, word? Well,
crazy time, bro.
I should get out of here.
Oh, man.
Let you do your thing, you know. But, yeah, can you talk about, you know, just about how that came about? You know, did they hit you up? Were you seeking them out? You know, what was the circumstances? I mean, as much as you can, you know.
Yeah, sure. Well, I mean, the relationship kind of started with Chris Dunn, who I've known since 2013, and I met him through Christian. Chris Dunn produced pretty much everything Christian Scott put out, from Rewind That up until maybe the trilogy, or definitely he did Rewind That up until Stretch Music.
Yeah, man. Well, I know Chris is an incredible bassist. I didn't know he was.
Chris Dunn. Chris
yeah.
Dunn. No, I think you're thinking of Chris Fun.
Okay, Chris Dunn.
Yeah.
A different,
Chris
okay,
Dunn.
cool.
Yeah.
So I was like, damn, he do production too? That's crazy.
Oh yeah, no. So Chris Dunn is at Concord. He's like the A&R guy over there. But
got you.
You know, he's been kind of just part of my life for a while, and you know, we just been friends, and like we would just talk music. And you know, I remember he always tells a story like when I first gave him like a little EP of Butcher Brown's of ours, and it was called like A Sides, B Sides, and they may have had like 4 songs on it. And I remember, I guess like I was super nervous, and I was just like, yo, man, I got this band. If you want to check it out, here's the CD. And so I guess he loved it, man. And, you know, we just started talking a little bit the next time I saw him, and just kept the conversation going. And I think it was just basically a relationship. And, you know, our manager, you know, also had a relationship with Chris, and my boys and my homies in the band trusted me enough, you know, we're down. And, you know, we had a couple conversations with Chris together as a collective, and you know, it was the right fit. You know, we negotiated, figured out what made sense, and you know, he was, you know, there. He was ready for it, and like even if we hadn't gone that route, he would have been down to still work with us. And so, you know, and the beauty in this record and just us working, you know, with this label is that they didn't try to change us. I mean, honestly, you know, it was interesting because like we up there doing rap music. We always wanted to do rap music, but they weren't like scared of it. He wasn't scared of it because he comes from that same culture.
Yeah.
You know, he's from Oakland, and like, so he can connect to us, even though
Oakland's a soulful ass place, man.
Yo, he comes from the culture. So it was like, well, he related to it. It wasn't like it was something else. So it was natural, man. And like, we spoke the same language. It was almost like having Phil Jackson on the team now. Like, okay, bringing in this other guy that can like add his perspective to it, and still, but we're being us the entire time, you know. And like, you know, it's never like this is how we're going to do things. It's like, here's a suggestion. Either you want to do it or not. And ultimately it's still up to us, you know, as a band. And so I'm thankful. I think we all are grateful to have that relationship with him. We talk to him like every day because we have a thread, and we're always discussing the next Mothership Monday that we're going to do, trying to figure out, you know, the process for that. And like, it's good, man.
I'm gonna have to think of a request for Mothership
Please,
Monday.
man. Hey,
I'm gonna look at them and I'm gonna be like, all right, I think I got one. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
I'm gonna dig through the crates a little bit, man.
Yeah, do it.
Well, you know, I know we got a couple minutes left, man. I wanted to play the single out. You know what I mean? But you got any last words, man? Anything you want to say to the people? Anything you want to promote?
Oh yeah, man. I mean, look. I got the Splice pack out. That's on my bio. But also, please go follow Butcher Brown. You know, we're putting out new content.
Shout out to everybody in Butcher Brown. Morgan, DJ. You know what I'm saying? All the cats. Andrew, all the cats, man. Appreciate y'all. And Marcus. You talented motherfucker.
Yeah, man. They all talented in their own right, man. It's crazy.
No, for sure.
So
no doubt about it.
Go follow the band page. You know, look out for the Mothership Mondays, man. Every week. Every Monday.
And Mothership Mondays, man. Like I said, if you're enjoying the pods, man, please, you know, you feel free to follow me or
follow him.
Or you don't even got to do that. You can just tune in every Tuesday, Friday, at 12:30 here, Sunday at 5 o'clock. You know, Hidden Gems, man. You know, this is a straight guerrilla operation. I've been really surprised and honored by the response from the musicians and from people who's been checking out the joints. So I'm glad you guys are enjoying it. Give me a couple of days. This will be on YouTube. It'll be on my IGTV page. And yeah, man, thanks for coming in, man. I'm gonna play this out, and we all through, man.
Thank you, man.
Appreciate y'all. This is the latest single, King Butch, the first single off the Concord label. So yeah, man. Thank you guys. Take care. We'll see you next time.
All right.
Peace.
Peace.
We got. Woo. I'll see y'all next time, man.